A court in Saudi Arabia has sentenced 5 people to death for the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. It also handed jail terms to 3 additional suspects in connection with the killing. Now, the Saudi writer and dissident was never seen again after entering the kingdom's consulate in Istanbul last year. He was killed and reportedly dismembered inside the building, but his remains were never found. Khashoggi was a resident of the United States at the time, and he was known for writing critically about the Saudi royal family. Let's bring in Toby Cadman now. He's an international human rights lawyer who has followed this case closely. Toby, thank you for joining us. What do you make of this verdict, and what can you tell us about the people who have been sentenced to death?
Thank you. I think one of the concerns that we have always expressed was that this was likely to be much of a whitewash, that it wasn't really a credible investigation, and it wasn't holding those individuals who were ultimately responsible, was not charging them. We've already heard today that 2 senior officials, Asiri and Qatari, were not charged, and they're both individuals who are closely connected to Mohammed bin Salman. So I think it is disappointing, although not entirely surprising, and it is certainly something that the UN Special Rapporteur, Agnes Kalamar, had warned about having justice, which was effectively a whitewash.
That UN report you're referring to, Toby, it did implicate people far higher up in the kingdom, the Crown Prince himself, of having known about this killing. Why hasn't there been an international investigation if this hasn't been sufficient?
Well, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult area. Now, Agnes Kalamar had made a number of recommendations in her report as to what was required. Now, of course, the International Criminal Court, for example, doesn't have jurisdiction over either Turkey or Saudi Arabia. And also the International Criminal Court doesn't investigate single incidents of murder such as this. So the International Criminal Court wouldn't have jurisdiction. But of course, there are ways in which international justice can be achieved, either through universal jurisdiction or through other means. But it's very difficult when you have somebody of the stature of Mohammed bin Salman, who is able to frustrate the process and ensure that there is no accountability by refusing to cooperate with Turkey and refusing to cooperate with any international mechanism. So it is very, very difficult to achieve a sense of justice in a case such as this, regrettably. And that was one of the things that Agnes Kalamar had actually highlighted in her report, is that there needs to be a special mechanism created on the international level to deal with a case such as this, which I agree with. There really does.
If that mechanism doesn't exist, Toby, is there any chance that those who are complicit will really be held to account, or is this verdict signaling an end to this case?
No, I don't think it's signaling an end to this case at all. And I think Germany has actually taken the lead in ensuring that there is accountability for senior officials who escape justice. I mean, we have a trial starting very soon in Germany, which is going to hold 2 senior members of the Syrian military intelligence accountable. So I think that there are mechanisms to do it. We have to be slightly creative in how we do that. And of course, there are cases being pursued in the United States because of Jamal Khashoggi being a US resident. So there are groups trying to hold the Saudi authorities accountable in a civil case, much in the same way as Syria was held accountable in the Mary Colvin case. So there are certainly ways that this can be done. And I think one of the things that we have to think of in a case such as this, and I hate to sound like a broken record because it's something I say a lot, is that we may not achieve justice today, but we will achieve justice one day. And nobody thought that we would have the likes of Charles Taylor and Slobodan Milosevic in a courtroom, but they were held accountable to some extent. So I think that there is also the sense that the Saudi authorities are tiring with Mohammed bin Salman, and so he's not going to be protected forever.
International human rights lawyer Toby Cadman speaking to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.